Hello YouTube, this is Alexander again. Today, as you can see on my desk, I have some glue guns, and I want to talk about some glue guns because on my last video there is lack of information about the regulation process about those one. So before to talk you about those one which are the best brand here and the more efficient device, I'm going to give you a little information about those one and explain to you how they regulate. Actually, they work very nice. So there is a big difference between them. Of course, they are not equal. And for to begin from the start, I want to talk you about this one, which is actually the first price. I purchased it from AliExpress, and the good thing to notice about this gun is it has a fuse inside, which is not the case from the other glue guns. So it have also an indicator here for working and a switch for to disconnect the device without unplugging the socket from the main. So I want to attract your attention about this one if you are looking for a very cheap device for a very high efficiency, because this one is the best, despite the fact this one, which is Dexter brand, it's a higher brand, but this one is more efficient than this one. So actually, if you want to have a very cheap glue gun for the price and the best efficiency as possible, it's better for you to go in Action Market. Maybe you know this brand. This is a market in France, and you can purchase this one despite instead to buy this one from Weldom, I think, and you have a really better device for the price. So those one is coming from the brand Rapid. Rapid is a brand which is the main manufacturer for this kind of device. It's hard to find another brand for this little glue guns, because it have the market. They are the main manufacturer which build this kind of device and marketed on the French market. Maybe I don't know for other countries, but this is the case for French market. Those one comes from Leroy Merlin. They are quite expensive, and for different working you can use those one. But if you are a professional and using every day your glue guns, if you are working on accessories for movies, for cinema, for making some films, the best is this one, of course, because it have the abilities to provide lots of melting glue for to make your to make your working very quick. This one can do the job, but for a professional way, you have to use this one. Of course, for tinkering at home, for to repair some little device and for some electronic stuff, it's maybe enough for you to have those one. Those one are explained, but there is unfortunately a lack of information about how they regulate. I dismounted those one on my last video, but I didn't explain how they regulate and how they work and compare it to beside old model, because this is a new technology of a ceramic element, and they don't work like we thought. And at first, of course, at first glance, they didn't work like that. So I'm going to explain to you how this one regulate and how they work, and I'm going after this to compare those one and dismount them for to see how they proceed inside for to make your glue melting. Actually, if you want more information about the efficiency of those three glue guns, this one too, these three guns, you can see my last video, but here I'm not going to test again this glue gun. I'm just going to explain how they regulate the heat and how they proceed. And for this I'm going to make you a little schematic. So here we have in front of this drawer here we have the PTC. The PTC is actually a resistor which have the value increasing with the heat. When this component becomes hot, the value in ohms will increase and it's auto-regulated. As you can see here, if you apply a voltage, you will have a current and you will have a power. This power will decrease significantly from the start according to the heating element increasing, increasing of the heat, and of course it auto-regulates, and when you insert a new cold stick on the gun, it's decrease the heat, and of course it's change the value, the resistance value of the heating element, and it's take more current, so more power actually to regulate the heat. This is an automatic regulation. Unfortunately, this kind of PTC have sometimes a lack of heat. The good thing then it's self-regulated, and the bad point, and we don't know actually the behavior of the ceramic properties, which can change with the time. So it can be more resistive or less resistive. We don't know how this kind of heating element ages. So this is for the PTC positive temperature coefficient resistor, and this is what it's mean. So for the model which was exploding in my face, actually it's a very simple one. You have a nichrome wire, which is in fact the heating element, and the nichrome wire is the heating element, and it's provide a regulated a continuous heat, and it's not regulated, of course, but it have a kind of regulation, but it's not a real regulation, of course. And so when you inject some voltage on it, the power is stable like that, and you have the heat which is increased. And when you insert a new stick, simply the heat is a little bit shutting down here, and little by little it's increased with time. There is no regulation because the power is always the same here. This is the old model. This version is not available anymore, and it's harder to find this one, despite it's it have a good efficiency actually, and it's give a good heat. It permits to you to have a very nice work. Unfortunately, this is not regulated, and of course the more important thing, if it can cause damage and fire if not ventilated, because it's not regulated. You need to use this glue gun with this heating element in a ventilated area, which can permit the chill and the cooling of the heating element. If not, the heating element can be very hot until it can cause a very important damage, even fire. So for the last model, you have this kind of model here, and this model is quite expensive actually. This is the big one. You can see here this model works with this principle here, and it have a switch for to choose the temperature you want, and it have the thermostatic switch here. One, if you want a certain temperature, you need to choose this temperature with this switch, and you can work with another temperature which is more higher with this switch. And of course it have a heating element with a nickel wire with a calculated power, and it have a different regulation. This is a Tor regulation in French, tutorial, on and off. In fact, in English, this is an on and off regulation. And when you switch on your glue gun, it's regulate, it's give the power until the heat increase and reach a certain extent. And when the heat is good enough, it's cut the power. And if you begin to lose a little bit of the heat, and it's begin to inject the voltage in the current in the heating element to regulate again, and this is a on and off regulation, and this is the best efficiency regulation you can find on a glue gun like this. And of course, when you insert a new stick in the glue gun, it consumes heat, and of course the decreasing of the heat is detected by the thermostatic switch which are here, and they provide a new connection to the main to have more heat for regulating the heat. This is a Tor in French, or on-off regulation, and this is the best efficiency regulation, and you will find this kind of regulation on quite expensive glue gun. Actually, this is not my first glue gun like this. It's quite expensive, 18 euro, I think, and it's a very nice tool for who's making some accessories on or cinema, or for making movie or any other stuff like this. It's able to give you a very nice work, very quick. You can work a lot with this one. Actually, this one is not my favorite because it's very big, too much powerful for what I need, and what I love to use is this one, which is the middle range in this case of tools. And this one I dismounted before I make the video, and I'm going to show you what there is inside. And this is for this one. This is not my first. This is my second tool I have, and I dismounted the last one, and I see the process inside. This is the reason why I show you this drawer to make you understand how it's regulated. This one use exactly the same principle as the PTC-R, which in fact are very easy to use for manufacturers, and this one have a very nice efficiency despite the fact it have this PTC-R. So we are going to dismount them and see how they are together. So here, to see the resistance of this heating element, you can also, just to make measurement, to compare, this is the Dexter one, and if you look the resistance of the heating element, it's about 860 ohms, and this is for the Dexter one. And if you look about this mid-range, this one is a mid-range, and it have a switch on. a switch to switch on or switch off the device without plugged or unplugged from the socket from the main. And this one is very nice. I love to use this one. And we are going to look the resistance of the heating element is about 350 ohms, because this 0 is the kilo ohm. So the resistance of this glue gun is about 350 ohms. So, and for this big one, which is a little bit different because it's don't use the same heating process. If this shaft, this little things here are not able to fit on the plug, so I need to hand it with my hand and see. This one is about 140 ohms, and so you can see then those two models are very powerful compared to those cheap one. So actually those one which are the same brand have a little switch. For this one it's just on-off switch, and for this one it's not an on-off switch. It's actually it's for to choose between two temperature. Sorry. Okay. If you want more heat, you can. You have two sets actually. You have a minus and the plus, and you can choose by switching like that if you want more heat, more heating glue or not. This is two temperature available here, and this one is just an on-off switch. On-off switch, and it's a nice thing because sometimes you don't want to unplug the plug of the device from the socket, and it can be a very nice thing. When you're using this glue gun, when you're finished to use, or if you make a little pause, actually you can hold it like that on your desk because it have a little stand, and this one also it have a little stand despite it's a very dodgy material. So you can use it and put it like that. This one coming from Dexter also have this little stand, and it works for this little model. This one, which is in the middle range, this one cost 30 euro. And it's quite a little bit expensive, but if you need a nice glue gun, this one can be the good for you. And it have a very big stand, very stable. And what I want to tell you about this, I cannot open it because it's stuck a little bit. Also, actually, it have a brake. There is a little ball inside with a spring, and if you don't push the trigger, the melted glue cannot go out and drip on your desk. And it have a mechanical brake actually. If you don't press the trigger, you have not the melted glue dripping on your desk. And you can find this kind of technical brake on each gun here, but I don't know for this one. I'm not sure for this one, but for the cheapest one, which are here, you have a little brake for prevent dripping melted glue on your desk when you're putting like that. So also the big boy, which is here, and very nice, very powerful glue gun. I use this one This is not my last one. This one is completely brand new actually. It's because my last one have some little problem. I preferred to buy another one. This unfortunately a little bit expensive. This one is the best, of course, and it have a very nice stand. You can use it for heavy duty work, and it's a very nice tools. Also, if you have a problem coming from the dripping effect, you can use to protect your desk or anything you want from the very heating, very hot glue. You can use a carpet like this, or protected anything to protect your desk or your bench, because sometimes, despite the fact that it have a little break, sometimes you can have some dust on your stick, and this dust, when it goes in the heating element, it's to have a bad stick. If your stick is a little bit dirty, the dirt can go in the brake, and it's stuck in the brake, and the brake can't work. And after that, if you use a bad stick, a dirty stick, your brake can make its job and prevent the dripping of the melted glue on your desk. So always use a nice stick, clean stick without any dust on it. So also, if you have the glue, melting glue dripped from the nozzle of your glue gun, instead to put it like that, when you don't work with it, you can just put it horizontally like this, and it prevents about dripping, but it takes lots of place. This is not the best way to use. This one is provided with a tip. You can see here, this is a hot tip with a different nozzle, and it gives you the abilities to have a different flux, different flow of melting glue. And I'm going to show you on those one. I'm going to show you the brake. If you can see, you have a little bar in the inside. On the Jeep, you have a little bar. If you can see, you can see the ball inside. The ball inside prevents about the dripping effect. This is a little brake actually, and behind this little ball there is a little spring for preventing the melting glue pushing the balls and going through the hole and dripping in your desk actually. So this is a very nice quality brand, and it's worth to have it if you have a lot of work to do with this kind of stuff. If you don't have heat-proof carpet like this, you can use just a piece of paper like that and put your soldering glue gun on it, and who cares about a piece of paper like that? It's very easy. It's free, very easy to protect your desk or your workbench with this. You put it like that or like that if it's dripping, but if your device is brand new, you can be sure it didn't drip it. So I don't think it's worth to make a heating test for these devices, because I use it yet, and this one makes some 3 minutes to heat up. It's very powerful, and it's quick, but this one make something like 1 minute to heat up, 1.5 minutes to heat up. It's very powerful. I'm going to show you inside how it's made, for you understand. It can give you the understanding why thermostatic switch are the best for this kind of purpose. hard to open. Okay, so you can see here there is a double PTC actually, and this is why this one is it have a very good efficiency for walking, and it hit up very quick. And the cable of course are normal, because this is not a Chinese product, not coming from a very cheap manufacturer. This is a real good brand for walking, as you expect from Rapid. And you can see here the switch for switch on, switch off. And here you have a little PCB. This little PCB contains just some components for to supply this little LED, and maybe there is some diode actually. There is some diode. I don't know exactly why there is this diode. Maybe this diode are for to maybe the sinusoid coming from the main are divided by two, and one PTC receive one side and the other receive another side. Maybe it's able to increase the power by switching for short-circuiting this little diode in front, but actually this is just an idea. But there is here little power supply for the LED, because when you switch on this glue gun, you have a working indicator here for showing you that the gun is connected to the main. So you see here the double PTC, one in the bottom, one in the top, and this one gives you a very nice result for walking. So and here it is for the very expensive one. As you can see, there is a heating element which is in fact made by a ribbon, heating ribbon. Here, this is a heating element, but this is a ribbon heating element actually, with a ceramic. Here, this is a ceramic plate, and here you can see the same compound they use for processors and radiators or transistors to make them cold, to chill them, and it's protected with this little epoxy foam. I don't know exactly what it is. And of course the thermostatic switching are here. There is one here and there is one on the other side, and of course you will have the switch, and the switch is able to choose between this thermostatic switch or the other thermostatic switch, which provides to you a different temperature for working according to the need you have. And so to make apparently to build a glue gun, they use glue here to hold the wire here, and you have a little connection here with this type of connection, which is not so bad. But you can see here you have a very decent wire. This is a very nice wire, and the cord of the device is very nice, and this is just that. But the last version of this glue gun was not exactly like that. This is a more sophisticated ones, because the other model I had in the past have not the same heating element, and the switch, the thermostatic switch was not positioned like this. But anyway, the main thing it works. And you will have here the trigger. A part of the trigger is metallic here, which I guess the push the strength of the push. You need to not to exceed a lot of force here, because it can damage some plastic things here. But anyway, this is a very nice build, and high quality brand, so, glue guns. So this is all, and this is all for this glue gun. Now I give you some explain a different process of working, and like I told you earlier, this one don't use PTC heatings, but use a heating element with a thermostatic switch. So I hope you like this video. This is the last video about this subject. I think I'm not going to talk about this stuff anymore. And so I hope you like this video. It was Alexander again. Stay tuned for a new video, I guess. And see you soon.